Welcome back to my channel. This is Ako's Musings. Here we muse about issues of life and then we make constructive adjustments moving forward. So a couple of days ago, I was on Facebook and I came across a post some guy wrote. He said a married woman should not leave her matrimonial home when her husband cheats on her because a man can deeply be in love with his wife and still cheat on her. Men are polygamous by nature. A man cannot stay with one woman. Men are cultured to cheat. They are wired to cheat. And it's really got me thinking, like, how is anybody wired to cheat? How can you claim to be in love with someone and still go ahead to cheat on them? If you are able to cheat on someone you claim to love, if you're actually able to go ahead and cheat on them, what it implies simply is that you don't really value their emotions, you're not thoughtful of their emotions. However, their being in your life fulfills a convenience. They are in your life for a convenience and not because you really, really love them. Because I'm pretty sure if you love someone, you'd be very careful about be thoughtful about their feelings. What is love? Is love not supposed to be sacrifice? So love defined in the context of marriage, to me, I think is committed sacrifice to another person against all odds. It's like that you are giving yourself wholly and willfully to another person, and the other person does the same to you. And in that love, you vow to keep your sanities. I've said this over and over and over. You vow to keep your sanities and your peace of mind, and you vow to protect the other person. All right. So love defined in the context of marriage is committed sacrificial giving of yourself to another person. So if you are a man and you've decided to commit to one woman, you owe it to that woman by your own vows to be committed to them, and so give them a safe haven to be themselves around you. And so if you are able, against all these things, to cheat on the woman, how do you define that as love? How can you admit you love somebody and do that? Knowing full well that cheating in general, whether in a polygamous or monogamous relationship, is a breach of confidence, it's a break of trust. If you cheat on somebody, you betray them. It's the highest form of betrayal that you can display towards someone you claim to love. So how can you say you love someone and then go ahead to betray them? It's like Judas telling Jesus, I love you, but was able to betray him. Is that love? So you love someone and then you are able to continue to the extent, say, ube cheating on that person and hurt them that way. And you come back and say, oh, I love you. You can deeply love someone and then hurt them that deeply too. How do you reconcile the two? Cheating is nobody's nature. It's a choice to cheat. We choose to cheat. That's basically what it is. Nobody was born to cheat. Then that would mean that some people were born to tell lies. Some people were born to be corrupt, born thieves. God doesn't act like that. It's at any point in our life, we choose to become those things. And cheating is one of them. It's not your culture. It's not your nature. What it is that you're trying to say that a man has a higher libido than a woman. A man doesn't have a higher libido than a woman. Men have a higher edge. A woman's sexual needs is cyclical. A man's own is like every other day or like weekly. But then, of course, then there's also what is termed self-control. And so you can choose to control your edges and choose to control your impulses. And it's not our nature. God didn't create people to cheat. So people will say that woman is a man's weakness. I'm a Christian, so I'm speaking from a Christian perspective. Of the two sexes, a man and a woman, I think the woman is supposed to be the weaker vessel in all things. However, when it comes to gratification of edges, libido and all that, I think women are much more responsible, comparatively, much more mature, much more thoughtful. And I find it's a bit worrisome because the man is rather supposed to love, while the woman submits. And love has to do with the protection, conscious attempt to be committed to somebody. So you realize that at the point where you're on the verge of actually committing the act of cheating, breaking your vow, I think that's when you're supposed to show the greatest love. Because at that point, you're going to gratify a personal, selfish need. And that gratification, that act is going to deeply hurt that person you say you love. Then you go ahead and you do it anyways. And you come back and say, oh, I love you very much, but it was an accident. I made a mistake. Whoa, you accidentally fell into someone's genital area. or you accidentally fell onto someone's genital. Let's get serious. That is not love. That's selfishness, and selfishness is evil. A man will do it back and say, forgive me, I'm a man and all that. You see, society has fostered the excesses and the ego of men to the point where in some cultures, born a girl, they throw the girls away. Since the society is patriarchal, it glorifies the excesses of men. And when a woman's husband cheats on her, everybody tells her to forgive him and move on with life. But when a wife does that, the whole world comes back and turns against the woman. So very difficult for men to keep themselves in check, control themselves. Story of Joseph and Potiphar's wife. Joseph showed commitment. He was a man who overcame that supposed nature. He chose at that time not to do that. He said, how can I do this wicked thing, sinful thing against God? So you see, when you betray somebody like that, by cheating, you do a wicked thing against the other person, and it's a sin against God. The wages of sin is death. It has nothing to do with your nature. You can flee it. Joseph fled. He fled for his life. The only sin that is against your body is sexual sin. Something you should dignify. It's my nature. It's my culture to cheat. Oh, no, it's not your culture. It's just your choice to do that at that point because you lack something in your life. You lack an emotional connection. And I think try and sort it out with your spouse. If you have to go for counseling, go for it. Than to destroy your relationship and life and your family because you can't control edges. In the name of, it's my nature. I beg, please, maybe I say,